great state papers. But even those communicate little of what shaped Lincoln's ideas, since only on the rarest of occasions did he take time to identify the sources he was drawing upon. Lincoln was, as his friend and admirer David Davis once said, "the most reticent, secretive man I ever saw or expect to see." His law partner of 14 years, William Henry Herndon, agreed. The man was hard, very difficult to understand, even by his bosom friends and his close and intimate neighbors among whom he associated. But there was a man of ideas behind this determined private shield, and those ideas might be glimpsed. Henry Clay Whitney, who met Lincoln for the first time in 1854, thought that the first impression Lincoln usually made on people was that of a rough, intelligent farmer. But Lincoln's longtime friend and colleague Leonard Swett knew better. Any man who took Lincoln for a simple-minded man would very soon wake up with his back in a ditch. He took up the profession of law in 1837 without having graduated from a law school, or any school for that matter, but purely on the strength of his mastery of a few elementary law textbooks and the mentoring of John Todd Stewart, an influential lawyer who had taken a liking to the 28-year-old Lincoln. Yet he rose to become a successful attorney with a practice that handled more than 5,600 cases in the state and federal court system of Illinois and the United States. And Whitney was awed by how Lincoln could become as terrible as an army with banners in cross-examination. He understood human nature thoroughly and was very expert and incisive in his examination and cross-examination of witnesses, wrote Whitney. If a witness told the truth without evasion, Lincoln was respectful and patronizing to him. But he would score a perjured witness unmercifully. He took no notes, but remembered everything quite as well as those who did so. Lincoln's intellectual curiosity frequently overspilled even the professional requirements of lawyering. John Todd Stewart told a campaign biographer in 1860 that Lincoln had a mind of a metaphysical and philosophical order. His knowledge of the languages is limited, but in other respects I consider a man of very general and varied knowledge. Unlike many of his legal peers, Lincoln has made geology and other sciences a special study, and is always studying into the nature of things. A British lawyer, George Borrett, who interviewed Lincoln as president in 1864, was amazed when Lincoln launched off into some shrewd remarks about the legal systems of the two countries, and then talked of the landed tenures of England. Then rounded the conversation off with some commentary upon English poetry, the president saying that when we disturbed him, he was deep in Alexander Pope. John Hay, one of Lincoln's primary presidential staffers, was just as amazed to find himself in a talk on philology with Lincoln, for which the president has a little indulged inclination. And even in the last few weeks of his life, the president, who was better known for reading aloud from joke books, reminded the San Francisco journalist Noah Brooks that he also was a lover of many philosophical books, and then reeled off a list of the most influential books in American and British philosophy. Joseph Butler's classic Analogy of Religion on Natural Law, John Stuart Mill's On Liberty, and even the formidable 18th century Calvinist Jonathan Edwards on Free Will and Determinism. But politics was Lincoln's heaven, and on political economy he was great. Lincoln, wrote Herndon, liked political economy, the study of it. As well he might, since Herndon remembered Lincoln's most intensive book reading resting on the most important ones on political economy in the 19th century. John Stuart Mill's Principles of Political Economy, 1848. Henry Carey's The Harmony of Interests, Agricultural, Manufacturing, and Commercial, 1851, and Principles of Political Economy, 1837. Sir Herbert Spencer's Social Statics, or The Conditions Essential to Human Happiness, Specified, 1851.